Hello, it's Sen in the Afterlife. I just did a video about how to draw eyes and stuff, and well, I got bored and decided I wanted to try to draw a piece of artwork, which is I want to try to draw one of the hardest subjects, which is actually a hand, but I don't want to just make a hand, you know. And what I like to do is I like to model with my own hand, because I like to look at my hand, because then I get to see the details of how a hand is like formed naturally. So if I want it to be holding a flower, I guess that I would be putting my hand to where, and of course I gotta really focus because you gotta do fingers and all of that, which can be difficult. And of course, the nails are a difficult part of drawing hands. I think it's the fingers in the hand makes it difficult, and people panic from that. And of course, knowing me, I probably am gonna mess up, but you know what? It's thought that I am trying. And I think that's what matters. I'm gonna add some shading on the spots for where the hands lines go. And I know I talk a little bit way too much. And yeah, some people might say, oh my God, why are you drawing it like that? But I'm not perfect. It's something that everybody needs. No one's perfect. Nobody is perfect. So what I noticed about when I was drawing my own hand is that I actually have my nails tucked. So it makes it way harder to draw, because usually I would focus on where my fingernail is. But if I did that, then it would be slightly difficult, because my hand is tucking my nails into the skin. And I'm probably doing it a little uneven, but you know what? I don't care. What matters is you try and just do your best. And I actually have some of my nails showing on that hand. I'm not going to go too far into details with it yet, because honestly I like to wait and do my details until the last bit, if that makes sense. It might not make sense to some people, but it makes sense to me, because, well, some people rush into things and it can make things a lot harder than it would supposed to be. Like they say, this is one of the most difficult things you can do in the art world, is drawing a damn hand, which it kind of is. It's hard, especially when you're trying to get all those little details, like all the little hands wrinkles and all of that. I find it fascinating and honestly relaxing. Like, this was one of the first things I actually learned in art school. And this is how I learned to do it, because I can look at a object and I can make an exact replica just by looking at it. Which I found out is actually very, very hard to do. And so, honestly, lines like this are gonna be lighter. I'm gonna shade the top of that. Okay. I honestly think I'm doing a good job. Let's cut that part out right there because I made it a little too thick on the edge. Now for my flower, and this is how I wanted to draw it, just as if you were pinching the stem. And of course I'm adding small little stroke details to it as I draw it. Now I've never been one to do leaves and stuff because it's more difficult for me, so I don't really want to put leaves on this. So flowers for me, they're very difficult. Mostly because, well, you have to involve a lot of shading and you have to do it exactly a certain way or else it kind of looks cartoony. So my first rose I actually made from doing spirals over and over, kind of like what I'm doing now. Because for me, I think petals overlap each other. And I just kind of overlap the edges until I have a full rose. And I'll keep doing this until like I got the consistency that I want and the shading that I want. And when I get colors, I would love to come back to this and actually color this picture. Because it would be so interesting if I made it like galaxy or a rainbow color and give some life to it, you know? And the second thing I learned about drawing the rose the way I did, because I learned it this way on my own because nobody at my school would show me how to draw plants. So I actually brought a rose to school and learned to do it this way. And I learned if I wanted the petals to be a certain way, I could change their own shape and darken my lines. It's not gonna be perfect, but like I said probably a million times, no one is perfect. And I tell my friends too, because they'll do art and then they'll complain saying, oh, my art is ugly and all that. And I'll be like, no one is perfect. Do art for yourself. Because honestly, art is meant to be alive. It's meant to relieve stress and show how you feel. And so, this is what I have so far. I know, it's a scribble. It's scribbly. But I plan to go back and fix some stuff and add more detail. and probably most likely smooth this out a little bit with the shadowing. And I might add leaves later on. I'm not completely sure, but I feel like something is missing. I kind of want to do a little background. So I'm going to do something like this, and maybe we can have petals flying away. If that makes sense. I was just completely doing this for fun, and then I thought, well, maybe in a way someone will learn how to draw a hand from doing this, or at least get a basic one. One thing we learned in art school was my first art piece that I entered in a competition was, I had a hand that was holding a book with a butterfly on it. And, the butterfly just I put a lot of detail into it. It was extremely hard for me, which I find kind of funny now looking back at it, because it's like, why did I make things so hard than it was supposed to be? Like right now I'm making, I don't know why I'm making clothes. And I learned from a YouTuber how to shade clouds the way she does it. Of course, I don't have the same tools as that person. So all I can do is take my time and do my best. And this is to where you make millions of little dots, basically. And it adds detail to your art. I forgot what they called this in art school. They even had it to where we had to make a picture out of millions of little dots, which I did not completely understand in school, because I was like, why are we making a picture out of millions of dots when we have the ability to make stuff our way? And another thing, I never did grid art in high school because, well, I didn't need it. Like I said, I have the ability to look at an image and I can copy that image and redraw it just by looking at it. Alright, so this is how my hand turned out. And honestly, I hope that it kind of helps my instructions, that you can look at your own hand as kind of a thing. I might go back and add more detail to it because there are more lines in a hand than that. I gave it a little mole and everything, but this is how I draw a hand.